to my garden. Today I'm going to be planting out my shallots and my garlic. I've got some elephant garlic, some normal garlic, the variety is Marco, and I've also got some garlic that I've saved myself from last year. But first we'll get on with planting these shallots. So I'm just going to dig a hole the size of the shallot and just pop it in, because the shallot needs to sort of sit with the very top, just at the surface level of the compost. And they need to be about 15 centimeters apart. So I'll crack on with doing that, and then I'll show you the garlic. I forgot to mention, I have already sown some shallots around the front in my sort of raised trailer beds around, and I've interplanted that with radish, but the radish are about to come out because they've done their growing. So we have got a bit of shallot on the go already, and these are just the remaining ones. So I'm just writing a label so I know what is what, because I used to be able to remember where everything was, but my memory seems to have left me in the past few years. Ugh, right, so that's your lot. I'm moving on next to the elephant garlic, which are very big cloves, which is obviously why they've got their name. And it said on the back of the packet to plant these 10 centimeters apart, and again just the depth of the soil. So I think I'll plant them about 15 centimeters apart, because I think they'll do better with a bit more space, but we'll see. So let's get on with planting these. So here is the Marco garlic, and I've just broken the cloves up to make it quicker to plant, and I've just done some preliminary holes for the cloves to go in. So we shall get on and plant those now. I have now found the other variety of garlic, so I'm going to pop that in the bed as well, and then I'll show you what the bed's looking like planted, which will just be a load of bare compost really, and we'll go and have a look at what else needs doing around the place. I've come around to the front garden now to plant out some Swiss chard and some pak choi and some mustard, and I'll show you how I've done that, but the other bed is now finished. There is a small patch at the end where I shall probably sow some spring onions and see how they get on over the winter. But the rest of that bed now is just full of garlic, so at least that's one job done for overwintering. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with the Swiss chard now. Here's the Swiss chard, which I'm going to plant in the long, thin, narrow bed where I've got my leeks at the other end, and I've got the asparagus in the front there, which has done really well. I'm very happy with the asparagus. It feels like at least something has gone right this year. And this is the Swiss chard, which I really should have planted out a while ago. At the moment they are in individual plugs, but I'm going to plant them in a group of 3 because I don't want them to get too big. So I'm going to go ahead and plant all these now, and I'll show you what it's looking like, and I'll talk you through why I've done it that way when I come back. Here's the leafy greens planted up. And up here I only managed to get 2 pak choi in, and what I did was I took out some of these scraggly leeks that I didn't think were gonna come to much anyway, so I'll just use them up in a pasta sauce in the next couple of days. And I thought I'd give the pak choi a chance to grow. And then I've planted the mustard, which I use for leafy greens, you know, in salad during the winter, and these can get quite big, but I'm hoping that with the height on the bed and where the soil level's at, they will have a bit of shelter for the winter, and I will be covering anything growing in the winter with fleece anyway, but they don't need it just yet. And then the Swiss chard, which is all lying down and looking dreadful at the moment, this will stand upright in a matter of days, and it should look lovely then. And I've planted them in clumps of 3, so there's 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, and yeah, that's in the hope that the leaves won't get too big. So it will hopefully produce lots of stems without too much leafy growth. And I don't know if I've shown you this, but I've got a few scraggly carrots down there and some woolly radish over there. And then I have some leftover plug plants here, which I'm going to pot up into some biggish size pots and grow in the greenhouse over the winter to see what the difference will be between the indoor and outdoor ones. These are spinach, which had already bolted in the plug plants, so they won't do any good at all, so there's no point in keeping them. The chickens can have them, and I'm left with these 3 spinach plug plants and the 2 pak choi, which I will probably pot up again like the mustard. So I've just condensed all of these down now into the one plug tray, and I'll just put them back in here for the time being. Got a few things to sort out here. A lot of them are pansies and other flowers. There's some dill here, but this is the sort of size pot I was thinking to use for the mustard and pak choi for over the winter, because I can fit a few of these in my greenhouse and they should have enough space for the plants to grow as good as they can. Finally, before I go, I thought I'd show you, this is the bed that I was talking about earlier, when I said that I had planted some shallots already, which I'd interplanted with radish. So those are shallots which have already started to grow, and there's one down there which hasn't started to grow, and then I just intercropped them with radish, which are actually ready for pulling out. If I pull this clump out, you can see they're a good size and ready to go indoors. And then that will leave, I won't interplant anything else here, but that will leave the shallots then to do their own thing in their own time. There's nothing in that shallot there either. Oh look, a load of caterpillars. I thought something was eating the radish, so I shall get rid of them in a minute. I seized the day and removed all the radishes, so it's just the shallots left to grow there now. And I've not captured, but I've taken as many of the caterpillars as I was able to find, and they are crawling everywhere. So I'm going to go and put these in the grass verge around the back in the field, and they can eat the weeds there. And those are the radishes from there. So this is just, that's my fence there. This is just outside the back. So I shall just put them where this load of, there they are, look. I'll just put them where this load of rubbish is, really. Well, not rubbish, but you know, waste ground. And they can save themselves. No more on there, is there? I could have put the caterpillars in for my chickens, but I tend to like to give things as much chance to live really as I can. And we're always on about encouraging butterflies into the garden, even if they are cabbage white butterflies. So I thought today I'm feeling merciful, so I'll let them escape into the meadow where they can chomp on the weeds that nobody uses. Well, that's it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this brief sort of look at what I'm doing now. I've got plenty of other jobs to be getting on with. Loads of things need tidying up for the winter, and my veg patch is looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. So I'll show you that on the next instalment. All I can say about my work today is lovely job, and let's hope that garlic grows.